Has it always been on your bucket list to visit Salem, Massachusetts in October? If not, it totally should be. With Salem being the location of the Salem Witch trials over 300 years ago and also where Hocus Pocus 1 was filmed, you definitely need to make it a priority to go in October. It is the place to be. But Salem does have a population of only 45,000 people and over 1 million people visit in just the month of October alone. Watching this video with tips and tricks will tell you how to navigate Salem in October, how to get photo ops quickly, where to find the best drinks, how to get reservations for the best restaurants, and also tell you the one place to go if you're into the creepy side of Salem in October. We will also show you how to get to the exact location where the accused witches were hung and tell you everything about parking. Let's go! Parking might be the biggest debacle in Salem, and lots of people tell you not to stay outside of Salem simply so you don't have to fight traffic getting in. But we stayed in a cute Airbnb in Marblehead, which is just about 10 minutes south of Salem, and I will share that with you in a little bit, but let me tell you how we did it. There are lots of places to park in all of Salem, but these are the big parking garages you should know about. The one that is most popular is the MBTA commuter rail garage, and it's probably because it is the cheapest and is also right by the train if you're taking that from Boston. It does not go up in price on weekends like all of the other garages do. The second place is the Church Street lots right smack dab in the middle of Salem. $40 a day on the weekends, but only $1.50 per hour during the weekdays, which I highly suggest you go during the weekdays in October. Museum Place Garage is right next to the Church Street Garage and is similar pricing, but $50 a day on the weekends and only $1.25 per hour during the week. The last garage and the one we went with is the South Harbor Garage, and we chose that location because it is southernmost and closest to Marblehead, and it was easy to get in and out of the city without fighting traffic in the city. It is $50 a day on the weekends in October, but only 75 cents per hour during the week in October. If you are going in October, the key to finding a spot in those parking garages is to arrive by 9:30 a.m. because they do max out around that time. Now that we have parking out of the way, let's talk about restaurants. Gulu Gulu Café is one of the top 2 most famous restaurants in all of Salem for breakfast. You should get there before opening because we got there about 15 minutes before opening and there was already a 20-minute wait. Red Sandwich Shop is the other place that's very well known in Salem for breakfast, but neither of those places take reservations. For lunch, the Howling taqueria was amazing. It's just a 5-minute walk away from downtown Salem, and on the last weekend before Halloween, we walked right in and got a seat. So make sure you check it out, and that's where you get the wolf's blood drink as well. For dinner, we had reservations at Sea Level Oyster Bar, and I highly suggest you do too. But to get reservations in October, you need to make those reservations at least 1, maybe 2 or 3 months before the actual date because they sell out very quickly. It's a little bit of a more upscale restaurant, but worth every penny. Something that is a must-do when you go to Salem is visit the Witchery. They have broom making workshops and also journal making workshops. But like restaurants, you have to make those reservations months in advance. For broom making, there is a $50 deposit at time of reservation, and that is refundable if you need to cancel. So I'd suggest making that reservation, and if you need to cancel it later, do it. But the brooms range from $69 total to $99 total, and for the journal making, there is a $50 deposit as well to make the reservation, and the journals run from $69 to $129. If you do make a broom, there is a UPS store really close by, and they will ship your broom in a special broom box for $13 to $15 depending on where you live. To make either of those reservations, head to thewitcherysalem.com. Okay, so my friend and I only had 1.5 days in Salem, and if you do too, make sure you check out my 1.5 day itinerary. But if you only can go to one museum, go to the Witch Dungeon Museum, not the Witch Museum. The Witch Museum is known to be a little cheesy, but the Witch Dungeon Museum is on point. You cannot pre-purchase your tickets online for the Witch Dungeon Museum, so it's a great idea to get there right when it opens at 10 a.m. to get your tickets in person and make that very first tour. Other places that you need to get to early are the outdoor photo ops and Hocus Pocus locations like the Old Town Hall. That's where Bette Midler sang "I'll Put a Spell on You" in the movie. If you wait until later in the day, you could be waiting in line for upwards of an hour. The next place you'll probably want to get a picture in front of is the Ropes Mansion, which is also Alison's house in the movie Hocus Pocus. I do have another video all about the Hocus Pocus location, so make sure you check that out. And my 1.5 day itinerary in Salem will give you exact times on where to be all these places in so that you can make the most of your time there. But another place you'll want to check out early is the Witch House. that does play a vital role in the history of Salem, as the judge from the witch trials actually resided there, and that is the original house. Another place that will get atrocious lines later in the day is the Bewitched statue. Did you know the TV show from the 1960s and 70s Bewitched was filmed in Salem? Okay, another Hocus Pocus location, Max and Dani's house. It is about a mile from town and is a private residence, so make sure you are very respectful when visiting that house. Now on to the buskers. Oh my word, there are so many actors and buskers, and you will find them on Essex Street. Essex Street is also the place where all the shops and some restaurants are, but the place to go in all of Salem is Essex Street. It is a street that is shut down to cars and is just for pedestrians, and you will find so many buskers there. Just one thing to keep in mind, and my tip for that is to bring dollar bills with you. It is customary to give them $1 or $2 if you take a picture of them or take a picture with them. They're so much fun, and you want to hit them up early as possible as well, because there will be lines upon lines to get pictures with these guys. We did hit Essex Street around 10 a.m. and most of the buskers were out by then, but I'd say they were probably almost all out by 11 a.m. Just a little heads up, this is what Essex Street looked like for us at 10:30 a.m. on a Friday in October, and this is what Essex Street will look like later in the day, so make sure you get there early and beware of the crowds. One thing to keep in mind is the video you're watching now does not have everything to do in Salem, but my other video, Salem, Where to Go and What to Do, is definitely a more comprehensive list and encapsulates almost everything in Salem. Now for some of my favorite shops. Wicked Good Books was amazing, and that's where I found the Hocus Pocus book for my daughter. There is also the Trolley Depot, and I highly recommend checking that out. It was a great souvenir shop with great prices. Why Not's Wands was an amazing store as well. You have to check it out. It has a Harry Potter vibe. You can't take pictures inside, but I was able to get this shot from the door. Now for some places for the best photo ops. Coven's Cottage had that little setup. Die With Your Boots On had these cute neon wings. Vamp Fangs had this amazing chair and skull to hold, and Coven has a cute couch that says "I put a spell on you" above it. Now we're headed outside of the downtown area of Salem a little bit. This area is called Proctor's Ledge. This is one of the 2 memorials in Salem that pays homage to the people that were killed during the witch trials. But what is special about this location specifically is that it is actually really close to where the actual hangings took place. To get there, go up and around the hill by Proctor's Ledge. In between 25 and 35 Proctor Street, there is a little section of woods. You will walk in that area. It is a public area, but those are the trees, and that is the area that the victims were actually hung. Not many people know about this location, so be very respectful. There are people that live really close by, and you are basically in people's backyards. Now, information about the Salem Night Fair. It is only open the 2 weekends before Halloween, but it is the place to go if you love creepy things. It's located in Pioneer Village and has amazing actors, buskers. Take dollar bills to this place too, so you can get some great photos with these people. They also have lots of things for sale, from art, jewelry, candles, you name it. But the tips about this is that the line will appear really long, but this long line only took us about 5 minutes to get through, so don't let that deter you. And everybody else will tell you do not park there, but it is located at Forest River Park, and there is a parking lot there. If you go to that parking lot and just circle around and around, you will find a parking spot. We found a metered spot that was actually free because it was past 8 p.m. After circling the parking lot for only about 5 minutes. There's an aerial view of the parking lot right there. But if you just can't seem to find parking there, there is additional parking at Salem State O'Keefe Center, which is about a 10-minute walk from Pioneer Village. And last, but definitely not least, our Airbnb. Like I said earlier, it was located in Marblehead and was about a 10 to 12 minute drive into Salem with no traffic whatsoever. It was the cutest little place with a full kitchen. It had a bathroom with a shower. It had 1 bedroom with this beautifully comfortable bed with a closet and dresser to keep your clothes. It had the cutest coffee nook and cooking and baking area. It has a living space. There is a pull-out bed in that couch with a TV and another fireplace. Make sure to give Ellen a shout out. I will leave the link in the description below. I hope you love Salem as much as we do. If you have any other tips that I did not mention, please list them in the comments below. And as always, I hope that you remember to choose joy and take all of the pictures.